What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. Hope that everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday evening. So, Smokey Robinson, he is being sued from his past four housekeepers, for a total of no less than $50 million. He is being accused of SA and having a hostile work environment. Let's go ahead and get into this article. So, we have former housekeepers for the Motown executive and singer-songwriter Smokey Robinson. They've accused him of SA, alleging in a lawsuit that he repeatedly harmed them over years. The suit, filed today, Tuesday, in the Los Angeles County Superior Court, alleges that the harm largely occurred in Robinson's home in Chatsworth, California, northwest of downtown Los Angeles. So we have four Jane Does, 1 through 4. The plaintiffs, identified in a 27-page lawsuit, are seeking damages totaling no less than $50 million. I know that's right, y'all. Get the bag. Because honestly, when I read over this and I saw, what was going on, it's disgusting and it's repetitive. It's like the same thing happened over and over and over again. But we're gonna get into that. This is obviously no amount can compensate these women for what Mr. Robinson subjected them to. One of their lawyers, whose name is John Harris, told the reporter on Tuesday. But given the gravity of Robinson's allegations and misconduct, this amount is clearly warranted. Representatives for Robinson, whose real name is William Robinson Jr., did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I doubt that he speaks up at all. He's out there promoting his new album. In his album, the title is talking about, what the world needs, right? He's talking about love when he's going home and abusing his authority to, his employees, essentially. It's disgusting, it's despicable. So, wearing masks to protect their privacy, 3 of the women appeared in person at a news conference in Los Angeles. A 4th attended remotely. Harris said that there was a common thread between them. They were all Hispanic women employed by or as housekeepers earning below minimum wage. So not only, were he harming them, right, but and abusing his power and authority, but he was also underpaying them. And this was a very vulnerable population of women. He knew exactly what he was doing. That's some sinister, calculated, predatory behavior. The lawyer goes on, Harris says, as low-wage workers in vulnerable positions, they lacked the resources and options to protect themselves. They did not come forward previously because they feared missing a paycheck, he said. Some of the plaintiffs worked for Robinson at the same time. Harris said that though they were too embarrassed to reveal the alleged harm that came from Smokey, breaking that silence prompted an avalanche of emotion. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it's freeing to speak about the pain that someone has caused you, especially someone who, has that power or, over you, or that authority figure, because they were scared of losing their livelihoods. I'm sure they have their own families to provide for. This is disgusting, if true, because they're all allegations. But like my grandma always says, everybody ain't lying. And it's 4 women who have almost the exact same story. The suit alleges that Robinson harmed one of the women at least 23 times between May of 2014 and February 2020, often in places in his home without security cameras. The suit also alleges that he harmed another former employee at least 20 times during the 12 years that she worked for him, beginning in 2012. According to the suit, Robinson would force her into his bedroom, his blue bedroom, to perform a ritual, and leaving his bathroom naked or nearly nude. According to the suit, Robinson would then place a towel on the bed so that the linens would not be soiled for what was about to occur, quote unquote. The suit states that he subjected 2 other plaintiffs to the exact same behavior. One of the former housekeepers worked for Robinson for 13 months, a period during which she accused the singer of harming her at least 7 times. In a desperate attempt to get him to stop the SA, the suit says of the plaintiff, she would proclaim, "You're married." And the suit alleges that Robinson would ignore her pleas. According to the suit, another plaintiff said that if she refused to be intimate with Robinson, that he would allegedly threaten to have his wife, Frances Robinson, be mean to the employee. All of the plaintiffs also accused Frances Robinson, who was also named as a co-defendant, of perpetrating a hostile work environment by screaming at them and using ethnic slurs in her language, which is again disgusting, right? I really truly believe that when people reach a certain point, that adage that money corrupts, or that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I feel like once people get, a certain dollar amount, it's almost like they lose their soul. Like you forget to treat people the way you want to be treated, you know? That's disgusting because she definitely wouldn't want somebody calling her an ethnic slur. And to be honest, according, with Smokey Robinson's 85, I'm sure that he has experienced that in his lifetime. I'm sure she has as well. Why would you treat other people, especially your maids and your housekeepers, like that? It's inexcusable. There's no excuse for it. Another employee, another housekeeper, former housekeeper, who later worked for Frances, and she worked as Frances Robinson's personal assistant. That's another thing. They was the cook, the assistant. She was like, and the hairdresser. Wow. See, they were doing everything for below minimum wage. That's criminal. They absolutely needed to sue these people. She accused Smokey Robinson of first harming her in 2007 at the singer's Las Vegas home, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit also accuses Robinson of assaulting the woman identified as Jane Doe 4 more than a decade later at his temporary home in Bell Cannon and at his home in Chatsworth. When the other housekeepers would leave the residence, defendant Smokey Robinson would summon her into his blue bedroom while sitting naked on his bed. He would then lock the door, place a towel down on the bed, and after doing so, he would pull down JD 4's clothes, and then he would pull them off her body against her protest and push her down the bed and proceed to R her. Robinson never wore a condom during the acts, according to the suit. In addition to losing their incomes, the suit also says that the plaintiffs did not report Robinson to the authorities for fear of public embarrassment and losing their jobs and retaliation. 3 of them said they were worried about possible adverse effects on their immigration status. So he, again, targeted extremely vulnerable women that he knew would be worried about their immigration statuses, aka probably undocumented immigrants, and just completely just abuse. I mean, just what I mean. Like that was such a disgusting power move, and again, just a predator, like just predatory, preying on people that he knew would be vulnerable, not paying them what they working them like they were slaves, essentially indentured servants. She was the housekeeper, the cook, the hairdresser. They'd have to work holidays. They wouldn't get holiday pay. Like that's time away from their families and their own peace of mind. And then on top of that, R-ing them, disgusting. Robinson was a pioneer for Motown Records, founding the vocal group The Miracles in the 1950s and later releasing albums as a solo artist and working as a record executive for the label. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. Listen, I'm so glad that people are starting to tell their stories. I feel like we live in a day and time now because people don't necessarily just begin this behavior overnight. He was doing these women for years. One woman said it was like over decades, and it's sad that she felt that she couldn't leave and get a better job. He was definitely preying on the most vulnerable, which again is disgusting. And I'm really glad that they are coming together to get the money that they owed. In my opinion, I feel like that's back pay. That's not even touching the pain and suffering that they went through when Smokey Robinson would drop his wife off at the nail salon and then go back and essentially corner somebody who he knew was vulnerable and couldn't fight back. That's disgusting behavior. Smokey, I'm disappointed. And then at 85 years old, he had to be popping them little blue pills because I mean, at some point, it's like, do people ever get tired? I don't know. I'm not 85, but I'm just wondering, do people ever get tired of, preying on other vulnerable people? Because I hate bullies. I really, really do. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Just, in a workplace. But I don't care if it's a workplace, a schoolyard. I don't care. I hate bullies, and I wish that they get every dime. I hope that, or even more so, I hope that their lawyers take Smokey and his wife to task. She's calling them ethnic slurs. Like, these people, I'm telling you, once certain people get to a certain status in life, because it doesn't even necessarily have to mean money, right? Um, Look at our current administration, or look at people. Into anytime they're elevated, if you are not someone who has a good character and who's grounded, it's like this evil, sinister, your core just like seeps out, and you start really harming your subordinates, and it's disgusting. So I wish all of these women well. I hope they get the bag. I hope that, they get justice in this case. And it's sad, but I mean, you know, you can't continue to do people wrong and think that you're going to get away with it forever. Eventually, you do reap what you sow. And so, Smokey, this is your time. So, 2025 is exposing everybody. Oof, my goodness. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Enjoy your Tuesday. Goodbye.